Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Orville, Season 2, Episode 4, Nothing Left on Earth Excepting Fishes, which is a line from The King and I. This is a really good episode, and what's funny is this episode literally rips off, pretty much most of the plot from Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery, which, seeing as how, I wouldn't say they're necessarily enemies, they're kind of pitted against each other, whereas Discovery is a very serious, TV show, and a lot of people who are long-term Star Trek fans have had trouble with it, whereas Orville is very lighthearted, it's funny, and it kind of does those commentary episodes like The Next Generation and the original series, stuff like that. So it's kind of separated a lot of people. And this plot really kind of pokes fun a little bit at the season 1, and in my opinion this episode actually works really well. Whereas I complained about the season 1 plot where it's the whole Ash Tyler thing and he's the undercover Klingon agent. Whereas for this one, the last episode of season 1, we saw Ed dating the new, I think, science officer, whatever, some new person on the ship. Which in this episode, they finally name her Janelle Tyler, which again, Ash Tyler, Janelle Tyler. So already they're just making fun of Discovery at this point. So the two of them have been seeing each other for a while. They end up going on vacation, and then Kelly has the one line of, there's a new security chief and she'll be here next week. And I was like, are they just going to replace Alara with a clone? What's going on with that? But whatever. Kind of the subplot of this one is Gordon wants to take the command test. Now, this is, again, something we've seen a lot in Star Trek, especially in The Next Generation, because I swear to God, you start with the first episode, and by the time you get to the end of the series, everybody's a commander. You got Commander Riker, Commander Data, technically, Dr. Crusher's a commander, Troy takes the commander test, and this is very similar to Troy's taking it, where Gordon's just not doing very well. But it's kind of funny because first he takes the psych test and it's a Rorschach test and he's just wigging out, saying how disgusting it is. And then when he takes the simulator test, which is basically the Kobayashi Maru, and he's like, we have a new deflector and it's going to bounce whatever you shoot at us back to you. And Kelly even says, that's kind of a novel move. It's the Corbomite maneuver from Star Trek, the original series. Kirk did it. It's great. It's a funny little reference. And it's funny because some people are they're just making fun. It's a shout out. It's giving props to Star Trek. I don't know, stuff like this I really enjoy because they're embracing Star Trek rather than making fun of it. Anyway, so let's see. Janelle Tyler and Ed are on vacation. They get picked up by the Krill, and it turns out that Janelle Tyler is actually Talia, which is the woman that we saw in the first season. She was the teacher where they killed all of the crew because the crew was going to kill the colony, but they saved her and the kids. Of course, she has some excuse I broke out of prison and I went through cosmetic surgery so you wouldn't know I'm a human and all sorts of stuff. But it's actually kind of worked. The whole season of Discovery just bugged me to see a Klingon go through all of this and all of the development and stuff like this. This is a 2-episode story. We saw her the first time, and then they're dating in this one. 2 episodes, done. It's not this long drawn out thing. And granted, because this doesn't have years, decades of source material, the Krill going through this, boom, I get it. I'm fine with it. So of course they start talking about out of 20 movies you liked 1 because the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and of course they end up getting attacked by some species we've never seen before, but whatever. And so when they crash on the planet, Ed has some really good lines about how. And again, I was raised in a very religious household, and to hear a lot of the dogma that she's spouting out, oh, nobody has a soul but my people because my God says so. So you're saying every other God is wrong but yours. Okay, I got it. That's fine. Whatever. And Ed has some really great lines about how anytime an alien race breaks out and encounters a new species, they react one of 2 ways. They either adapt and realize that they're not the only creatures out there, or they become xenophobic. Clearly the Krill are the xenophobic ones. And so just stuff like that. So it's really kind of interesting. And then you can kind of see their relationship build where he goes to sleep and she's like, sleep on your side, you snore on your back. So she kind of does care a little bit. And then, of course, like, they do get rescued and Ed lets her go. And I really hope to see her again because I really like the character and I think the two of them worked really, really well. Stuff like this is what's making Orville such a good show. I'm really enjoying it. We're still brand new into season 2, still loving it. So for those who have seen it, what did you guys think? Let me know, and I'll see you guys next time for All the World is Birthday Cake.